Firstly, Denver's thrown me in the deep end. Please put up with the amateur to start off proceedings, because that's what I am. I'm a dad, and that's pretty well where it ends. I'm just a dad that's got involved with my local community, local sport, and it came about, and what we've started came about for a few reasons. How do I get my face off here? That's better. As I mentioned, I'm involved with a junior football club, and this is certainly probably not the normal space junior football clubs are talking at, but I've just been asked to give you our story about what we've been able to achieve, and maybe that will give you guys some ideas about things. Okay, so who are the Coolbinia Bombers? In 2014, we're a healthy mid-sized junior AFL club. And I've drawn, most of you will know where Coolbinia is. I didn't until I moved into the suburb. I lived south of the river. I had no idea. I thought it was near Coolbilla. No idea where it was. That little red dot, that represents the size of our catchment area. Like so many other clubs, whether it be seniors or juniors, we're 100% run by volunteers. As I mentioned, our total catchment's about 10 square kilometres, so you can walk it. It's not very far. And around us, we've got another 20 junior football clubs within a 10-kilometre radius. So to get members, we're up against it. If we're not doing the right thing, people are going to walk with their feet. In 2015, we had an idea for a program. How could we as a club become more inclusive for our entire community? And we gave that program a name, and we called it Star Kick. Now, anyone involved or has had kids that go through junior AFL, there's a program called Oz Kick, which is your entry into AFL football. The Star Kick name's not very imaginative. It came from Oz Kick, and we knew of the Starlight Foundation, and we thought we'd throw the two together, and we came up with a name, and it's stuck ever since. It was very much a blank canvas. There was no blueprint for what this was, but we wanted to go out and welcome a group that had never been a big part of our club before. We aimed our program at special needs kids, 5 to 12 years of age. We initially hoped in the first year we'd have 8 to 10 players join the team. So we're starting from zero. One of the things I'm asked is, why did we start this? There was already special needs children at our club. But those children were at a level they were participating alongside their mainstream peers. But we recognised, when we asked ourselves, could we do more? What about the kid that is in a wheelchair? Or the kid that can't see? Or the kid that needs one-on-one help? Could we do more as a club? And that came about by recognising a need in our own community. We had an existing family at the club, had 3 children. They all come down every weekend with their kids. 2 of their kids would participate in our program. One child, he had some severe disabilities. He is in a wheelchair, he's legally blind, he has cerebral palsy, suffers from seizures and a whole host of other medical conditions. In his instance, he was watching. He was there with his family, he was part of our club, but he wasn't participating in what we were doing as a club. And the other thing was a bit of awareness. I wasn't aware of people that may have missed out on things with disabilities. My son, when he was 13 months old, contracted meningitis and ended up with a brain injury. I, as now a leader in our club, was acutely aware of how secluded that type of event, or if you have a disability, can be on your personal life. So I had that awareness, and we were able to act on that. So we looked around, we looked for inspiration. We go, oh, we've got this idea, there's someone else out there doing this type of thing for junior kids, and we couldn't find a lot. There's certainly programs around that are really, really good. There were singers writing for the disabled, surfing disabled. We go, that doesn't quite fit our club. Our club's here. We don't want to just have a segregated group. We want something inside of our group, inside of our club and community. So what we did, we didn't change our club, and I think this is really important. We found the best fit, how we could make our club more open. Find a champion to drive it, and very much believe in what you're doing. We certainly listen and learn, and I remember sitting in my back patio and Denver came around and we were looking for ideas and guidance. And we certainly want to listen and learn, but as a club, we also want to understand it's our club and it's our community. We have to be the ones that drive it and make things happen. So, Star Kick concept is pretty simple. It was just a thought bubble that came about with my neighbour who was also in our club committee and a couple of other people. We were sitting out the front one day having a couple of beers, and we just thought, how can we make have more kids in our club and be part of our community? It certainly wasn't rocket scientists. We're not physios, OTs, any professionals in any way. We're just community members looking to make a difference. So Star Kick was targeted to both boys and girls who by circumstance or choice could not participate in our mainstream teams. And I think that's an important thing I want to point out. We didn't want to have something where if you have a disability, you have to be in this group. That is the absolute last thing we wanted. But what we wanted to create is a group for the kids that really struggled to be able to fit into a mainstream team. The boy in the wheelchair, the girl that's visually impaired, or someone else that has a major disability, it's very hard to be part of a mainstream team. It's very hard for them. So we aim to cater for all disabilities, and we follow the simple motto: if you want to play, we'll find a way. So Star Kick for us, it runs over 16 weeks. It's part of our Auskick Centre, and that was a critically important decision because it brought the community together. It was 200 kids and their families and their grandparents all on the same oval at the same time, being as one. We were just extension of our community. The three guiding principles that we came up with for our Star Kick program was that first word, community. It was a program run by the community for the community. And whilst there's some wonderful professionals around, we felt as a community we were the ones that needed to do this for our local kids. And the group particularly is considered just like any other at our club. Inclusion, this was something that we continue to work on, but the team and their family need to be part of the club from day one. We wanted the families and the kids to experience the wider benefits that come with belonging and being part of a community club. And that's not necessarily learning the new skills of kicking the ball around, it's just being welcomed and having someone to talk to and having a new friend, and that's what you can create in a big community club. And the last thing, and we thought this was very important, we wanted everyone to be treated equally. So this meant no special handouts or dispensation. So all the Star Kick players are treated exactly the same. They pay club fees like every other member at our club. We could have gone out, and I'm sure there's lots of wonderful businesses that would have given us money and paid for the kids to run a program, but it wouldn't have been appreciated as much by the children and their families. Well, we felt that. And we also felt that potentially other members of our club may go, why is some group getting this and we're not getting that? Because we had a bigger picture to look after. So we wanted everyone to be equal. But that also came with parents that came into the club, into the Star Kick program. Everything is volunteer run. We expected them to give back. So once every 3 or 4 weeks, every group in our club, it gets shared around, has to be on barbecue duty, for example. So we needed our parents to come and help out on barbecue duty. Everyone was part of it, and I can tell you, those parents actually enjoy that probably just as much as anything on their weekend, getting involved and getting their hands dirty. I'll give you a story that quickly, the efforts these families go to, we've had 3 or 4 times kids have been sick and the parents rostered on barbecue duty. We've had people drive 30 or 40 kilometres by themselves, kids stays at home just to do their shift. And to be honest, if you've ever been in clubland, that type of thing does not happen very often. So how did we go with our little program? We started with nothing. In 2015, we had 47 registered players in the StarKit group. That was 10% of the total club membership of our club. We've had children join with both physical and intellectual disabilities, autism, cerebral palsy, vision impairments, as I mentioned. This wasn't just for one particular group with disabilities. And the demand, which was something that shocked us, we thought we'd have 8 or 10 kids. Families travelled hundreds of kilometres to attend. And the other great thing, being part of a wider club, their siblings joined too. It was all of a sudden some families that may have a child with a disability, their little Johnny or Mary can come along and do their sport at the same time. So often when you've got a child with disability, you're running them around to this specialist service. Here they could all come together. The other thing that we're able to do is engage volunteers and the wider community. With that, to run the program, we needed extra help. And we were able to get that through local volunteering groups, university students, people completely outside the club that we wouldn't normally get access to help us, came in to assist. And the other thing we were able to do is use our youth players to also come and be involved. And we ran a thing called Buddy Day. And it's probably been one of the most successful things we've been able to run, where our oldest youth players would come down and buddy up with our StarKit players for a day. The whole idea is it's a kids helping kids approach, where our older kids would guide and mentor our younger StarKit players, but they'd also take something away, a life skill out of that moment that'll be with them, hopefully, for the rest of their lives. And the other thing that's been really great for us as a club is this little idea that started on the letterbox over a couple of beers has expanded. In 2018, there's now 4 other clubs in Perth Metro running a StarKit program. And for the very first time last year, these kids were able to pull on their club jumper and go and play games against each other. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience, and it's something they really look forward to. Denver asked me to touch on a few things about the outcomes as well for the wider club, because by doing something good, we also, as a club and community, got a heck of a lot back. We're certainly a diverse club, and by starting a StarKit program, it's filtered into other areas of our club, has become more inclusive. 1 in 4 members at our football club now are female, and there's other reasons for that. 1 in 14 has a disability. We have a lot of close ties with Indigenous youth groups through Clontarf Academy, and culturally and linguistically diverse through Edmund Rice Centre that come and play at our club as well. Our membership overall is up 40% since 2014. And we've grown from that little 10 square kilometre radius I showed you earlier to be the 2nd largest club across East Perth, Perth and Swan districts, which is our conference area. So that benefit has helped us. Financially, sponsors call us. Now, if you're in the clubland, that doesn't happen. Sponsorship and grants for the club and the wider club were up 400% from where we were back in 2014. For us, we've got a key point of difference now. But that's not why you do these things, but these were flow-ons of what was part of that journey. And certainly a lot of pride, particularly community pride. Our club members, our volunteers are certainly far more engaged, and it's nice to get some pats on the back occasionally with recognition locally and across Australia. But those opportunities, a big thing by being more inclusive and welcoming a group that have never been part of our club, have certainly flowed on to all of the members of our junior footy club. So our club today, This is some of the recognition. So federal and state ministers were invited to Parliament House in Canberra, which was a pretty cool thing. The AFL CEO and chairman have given support for what we're doing. We had some managers from the AFL try and come and visit us. Curtin University and the Ability Centre ran a program and ran a study on what we were doing, and they presented some of the results of that at a European conference late last year. It's certainly increased opportunities. They've opened up to all members, and there's a massive flow-on effect. And we've become a club of choice and that people want to be associated with. And it started with nothing. It started with zero budget and just a desire to give it a go. And now our little junior footy club is one of the most recognised junior clubs in Australia. And these are some of the little things I'll flick through quickly that we're most fortunate to be recognised with. Community Service Excellence Award winner. We're principal partner of the Fremantle Dockers who support us, and I'll show you a little video they put together for us later. We won a Department of Sport Recreation Award and a finalist in National Disability Awards. And we think that's not bad for a little junior suburban footy club. So a picture paints 1,000 words. I just want to run you through this video, and then I'll quickly wrap things up. Will that press go, or I need to press go? Okay, where's play?
Starkick is an Auskick-based AFL football program for both boys and girls who, either by circumstance or choice, are unable to participate in a mainstream football team. So our motto and for the team and the group is pretty simple. It revolves around, if you want to play, we'll find a way. The program itself is all about inclusion, equality and being part of a community. One thing that's worked really well is a program we've called Buddy Day. It's basically a kids helping kids approach where our older youth players come down to a Starkick session to buddy up with and help a Starkick player for the day. We see it as a way to break down barriers, and we've had some fantastic outcomes from this day from both the youth and Starkick players. As a club and a community, we strongly believe our youth players will learn and grow from this experience, which will hopefully make them more caring, empathetic adults as they move on and out of the club. We aim to treat our Starkick parents as we would any other parent from within the club. That means parents are encouraged and welcome to join in as a coach, an assistant, maybe as a helper on the canteen. But if that's not what they are looking for, we've ensured we have enough volunteers on hand so they can just enjoy being parents and cheering their kids on from the sidelines. That in itself is something that many of us take for granted, but for so many of the parents with special needs children, it's rarely possible.
Well, we came down last year when we first heard about it. It was just a really good community and just fun for the kids, as much for the social aspect as for the physical side of it. And for us as parents, it's just fun to watch the kids have a good time, and we all have a bit of a gas bag on the side. And
makes us get up a bit earlier on a Sunday and get out and enjoy the sunshine and the weather. And it also enables us to do something that's actively participate with Luke.
Being at the club is also a wonderful opportunity to just connect to other members of the club, other parents within the group, and enjoy being out in the sun as part of their local community.
Okay. Hope that stops there. I'll just wrap things up, and I'll maybe leave you with something. And I suppose what I hope to get across to some people here is don't wait for someone else. Just be the one, be the leader. Whether you're a club of 10 people, you're a local government, don't wait for the state government. If you're state government, don't wait for the federal government. You guys be leaders, and I think from our little story, anyone can achieve something and make a big difference. So thanks for having me, and I pass you back to Denver.